Do you believe in miracles? Well, I do, and I suspect you do as well. But are we inclined as Christians to sometimes call things miracles that aren't really miracles? Do we use the term a bit too much? For example, if your spouse is always late, is it right to say, boy, it was a miracle she was on time, or it was a miracle he was on time? No, that's not really a miracle, is it? It may feel miraculous, but it's really not. When we talk about miracles, there are, in a sense, categories. Let me start with the first one. That's just simply called the simplest answered prayer. Suppose the little girl is praying for her puppy to come home that's been lost, and the puppy comes home the next day. Is that a miracle? Not really, but it is answered prayer, and to that little girl it may feel like a miracle. Or let's take the second category, what we call the complex answered prayer. Let's suppose heartbroken parents discover that their 17-year-old is addicted to drugs, and he wanders away from the home, and he disappears, and he goes off to another city, and they don't know where he is, and they put out a prayer request, and their email gets circulated and forwarded and forwarded, and finally somebody many miles away happens to read it that morning, go to a rehab center to do some ministry, recognizing the name, and recognizes the young man, and returns him to his parents. Is that technically a miracle? No, but it sure feels like it to those parents. And there's another category. It's called the coincidence. Suppose somebody's sitting at a Little League game, they've been searching for jobs, they've sent their resume everywhere, and they can't get work, and they just casually reference their need for a job and the specialty of their particular skill. Somebody overhears it in the row behind them, contacts a relative, and all of a sudden a job comes from that. That's a coincidence. It's not really a miracle. And then there's the fourth category. It's the against all odds. Suppose a brother and a sister or twins are separated at birth, they were adopted, and maybe they make a trip, they happen to make a trip, not knowing each other, to Hawaii, and they're at a resort opener, and they get to visiting, and then they discover, my goodness, we're actually brother and sister. Is that technically a miracle? Not really, but it may feel like it to them. And then there's the category, the fifth category, and that's a miracle, when blind eyes open. Now, all these other categories feel like they're miracles, and they're wonderful touches by the power of God. And yet at the end of these is that thing called a miracle, when God breaks in, superseding all known scientific laws, and does what only God can do. That's a miracle.
Are miracles for real?
Her car flipped upside down and plummeted to the Red River, which was partially frozen.
2 men pulled her out of the river, saving her life.
You might say definitely because you've experienced a miracle yourself.
I had 5 arteries that were severed. Not torn, not pinched, but completely severed. So doctors say I should have bled to death in just a few minutes.
Or maybe you've heard stories, but you're skeptical.
You know, you read the Bible, you read what it says, and you think, is it really true?
The answer? Miracles are for real. In this book, Dr. James Garlow carefully examines biblical teaching about miracles, and it's packed full of truly amazing stories that will boost your faith. It's our thanks to you for your support. To request a copy, write to us or call 1-800-265-3100. You can also make a secure online donation at crossroads.ca.